So here we are, 2026. And in 2025, we said it's the year of agents. And it was. But there were some surprises last year that really caught me. And I wanted to quickly share them with you. So my first surprise from last year was vibe coding. Now, in the middle of the year, we ran a promptathon with our HR and finance groups, and we introduced vibe coding as a bit of an afterthought. And it surprised us then that about 30 or 40% of the room vibe code little micro apps. The 17th of December promptathon for HR and finance, it was nearly 90%. 90%. And it's obvious when you think about it. That's a part of the organization that needs things to be predictable, deterministic. And where AI fits in is to give them the ability to create tools, to create spreadsheets, to create insights, and create apps that are deterministic to help them do their job. Wasn't expecting that. I also wasn't expecting the sheer number of people that would sign up for an event like that. If I think of the areas of the business that are really excited about AI, you've got marketing, you can see that for promotions. We've got, our customer service teams can see that for efficiency. But, maybe the operational side of the business is moving quietly and cautiously towards AI. And I didn't expect a lot of people to sign up for that 17th event. We had room for 40, we're expecting 10. Drop-off rate's usually about 50%, but we had a 5% drop-off rate, which was, again, a surprise. I've never had that happen in my career. It even meant that we had to have facilities help us rearrange the room so it wasn't a fire hazard. And at one point, I was encouraging some customers to have some one-on-one sessions so that we could give capacity and space in the room. That's never happened to me before. Now, the other thing I think was a surprise for last year was there's no clear killer app for each department. You would have thought by now that we would have just figured out what that specific app was. Now, in customer service, yeah, chatbots to interact with customers is definitely in the right space. But if we look across the rest of the enterprise, those killer apps aren't appearing yet. And so that's what drove us to build a database of over 3,500 agents that have been delivered around SAP with Google technology. So we could start to see some of those patterns arise. And there's no question in certain departments, in certain areas of the business, we are now starting to see those patterns arrive. And I'm looking forward this year to identify that killer app. Now, I live in a bit of a bubble, if you like, around SAP and AI because I live and I dream it every day. But I went to conferences last year and some local ones where I got to meet people that are maybe outside of this bubble. And what I learned was that there's about 15% of employees feel the way we do or the way I do. 65%, they're kind of waiting for that aha moment on AI, and they're a little bit fearful of it, and the rest are majorly fearful. And we did a show of hands at a conference, and it played out those statistics perfectly. But that was at an AI conference. And so my final surprise of last year was, and worry if you like, is that the people that AI could benefit the most, and this isn't necessarily the kids leaving university, these are the folks with grey hair like me, are not getting engaged. They're not finding that on ramp into AI. And so that's what I'm passionate about this year. I've been working on some materials to help us in there. And actually, the AI has created this wonderful term. I want to share it with you. You can tell me whether it's good or bad in the comments, but I love it. It says AI plus experience equals wisdom at scale. AI plus experience equals wisdom at scale. And I believe that. I've seen it in my own personal use of AI and my experience about a process, an approach, I know the nuances of what needs to be done. I can instruct my minions, an AI minion, to do exactly what I want. And that comes from experience. Now, you don't necessarily have to have gray hair for that. It could be people in an organization that have developed experience at a young age at a particular part of the business. But those people with experience aren't necessarily the ones that are picking up AI. So that for this year is going to be my passion. Watch out for some videos in this Humans in the Loop series, or someone mentioned it, um, AI in the human loop. I love that. But watch out for that. We're going to start to touch on that. We're going to talk about with business users how they've adopted AI, how they're building best practices, so that we can all find our on ramp into AI. I'm really also passionate about figuring out where technically AI needs to sit and customizations need to sit with inside an SAP system. It's been for a long time that we've piled all our customizations into SAP, and it really hasn't helped anybody. Maybe it's time for some of them to come out. I love this concept of Smith's Toys of the distributed core, the thin core, the lean core, whatever you want to call it. This idea that agentic gives us an opportunity to maybe remove customizations and put them into an agentic layer where they can quite frankly do more for us. And the final thing, I'm looking for that killer ROI. I'm looking for those use cases across the business surrounding SAP that are the perfect on ramp for our customers and for you to get to really bake the best out of AI. And I think with Project Q and some of the methodologies that we've seen in Alphabet, we're really close to that. So if you're interested in being part of that, as they say on these things, drop me a comment in the comment section or just DM me or just pick up the phone and call me. I'd like to hear your perspective. And if you'd like to be part of those videos, let me know. Speak to you soon. Good luck with 2026.